The Book of Joshua presents a clear historical assertion regarding Israel's origins. The nation was established in Canaan through a rapid, unified, decisive military conquest. The text details a highly coordinated strategy, describing distinct southern and northern military campaigns that shattered the existing regional powers. Modern biblical scholarship and Syro-Palestinian archaeology heavily contest this account. Historians face a severe methodological conflict. They must decide whether to trust an ancient primary text or reconstruct history using modern sociological theory. Resolving this is incredibly difficult. Hard archaeological data from the Late Bronze Age is scarce and highly fragmented. By examining the 3 absolute archaeological data points available from this era, we can test the 3 prevailing academic models for Israel's origins. How historians align these scarce facts with these models dictate whether they view the biblical text as a true historical record or merely theological propaganda. Our temporal baseline is narrow. Historians are looking for physical evidence of Israel's emergence in Canaan between 1400 and 1200 BC. This is a 14th century BC clay tablet from the Amarna letters, a cache of diplomatic correspondence. In these letters, Canaanite kings frantically beg the Egyptian pharaoh for military aid against a disruptive group of attackers they call the Habiru. The academic consensus applies a crucial caveat here. Habiru is generally understood as a broad social class of outcasts or raiders. It is not strictly a reference to the ethnic Hebrews. This is the Merneptah stela, an Egyptian monument dated to exactly 1220 BC. Etched into these lower rows is the very first extra-biblical mention of a people group called Israel. This gives historians an absolute chronological anchor. A distinct entity recognized as Israel definitively existed in Canaan by 1220 BC. The third point of evidence comes from 13th century BC destruction levels found in various Canaanite city excavations. While many excavated cities show burn layers, the text of Joshua actually claims only 3 specific cities were burned with fire: Jericho, Ai, and Hazor. Social unrest in 1400 BC, a documented presence by 1220 BC, and isolated city burnings. These are the only raw data points historians have to build their models. The traditional conquest model argues for a literal external invasion from outside Canaan's borders. This maps directly to the text. Swift military attacks that broke regional resistance, followed by a settling and division of the territory. The primary academic critique against this model is physical. A massive Melitopone conquest should leave a massive trail of burned, destroyed cities, which the archaeological record does not show. Scholars like Eugene Merrill counter this with a nuanced reading of the conquest. They point to the specific biblical concept of herem, the principle of devotion to destruction within a holy war. If herem was applied strictly to populations and political systems, rather than the architectural destruction of infrastructure, the lack of widespread ash layers perfectly matches the textual claim. The conquest model remains viable only if historians accept the biblical text as a primary historical framework that accurately contextualizes the physical evidence. The migration or infiltration model, popularized by Martin Noth, removes the military component. It proposes there was no unified assault. Instead, pastoral nomads slowly filtered into the unoccupied hill country over many generations. According to this model, these nomads lived peacefully alongside Canaanites, adopting their culture and intermarrying. In this timeline, major military conflicts only erupted centuries later, in the 11th century, when population density pushed these nomads into the fertile plains. This model points to the Amarna letters as evidence, identifying the Habiru troublemakers as the earliest unorganized waves of these migrating groups. The methodological cost of this model is total. It requires entirely discarding the Book of Joshua as a historical record. The migration theory replaces the concept of a sudden political origin for Israel with a process of gradual sociological evolution. The third framework is the peasant revolt model, pioneered by George Mendenhall. Mendenhall proposed there was no outside invasion and no migration. Israel originated entirely from an internal uprising within Canaanite society. He argued that heavily taxed and oppressed rural Canaanite peasants violently rejected the political ideology of their urban overlords. To unify their disparate rebellion, these peasant groups adopted a new, shared religious identity, Yahwism. Scholar Norman Gottwald later applied a strict Marxist adaptation to this internal revolt theory. Gottwald asserted that the religion didn't cause the revolution, rather the social revolution invented the religion of Yahwism as a tool to justify their class struggle. The peasant revolt model abandons the historical text entirely, opting to construct Israel's origins strictly through the lens of Marxist class warfare and sociological determinism. Over the course of the 20th century, the field of biblical archaeology shifted away from text-based history toward these sociological models. You can track this exact transition in the editions of John Bright's standard academic textbook, A History of Israel. In his 1960 edition, Bright defends the traditional conquest, writing that archaeological evidence abundantly attests to what the text calls a bloody, brutal business. At mid-century, the biblical text was still treated as a primary historical source. By the 1972 edition, Bright backpedals. He introduces Mendenhall's peasant revolt theories and admits the history is highly complex. During this decade, scholars attempted to awkwardly blend the ancient textual narrative with newly fashionable sociological theories. In his 1981 edition, Bright fully surrenders the traditional view. He states his book now follows in all its essentials the work of G.E. Mendenhall. Within a single generation, mainstream academia entirely adopted the Marxist peasant revolt model. This total academic reversal happened without the discovery of any massive new archaeological data to definitively disprove the Book of Joshua. The shift was purely methodological. It reflects a growing philosophical bias that prefers modern sociological frameworks over ancient religious documents. In ancient history, the truth is rarely just dug out of the ground. The history we reconstruct is heavily dictated by the specific theoretical lenses scholars choose to wear when looking at the evidence.